Dr. Jessica Ash here. Today, I have the honor of speaking with Prince Ntikozo Mufokeng Zulu, nephew to the late King Goodwill. And so I'd like to thank you all for being here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
such wonderful introduction. God bless you for that.
Thank you.
Yes. And can you tell us a little bit about the people that are with you, Prince?
Okay, the gentleman beside me is Honorable Vikas Malik, who is also my special chief advisor, business associate, and my personal spokesperson as well. So he's from New Delhi, Indian citizen, but currently because of work and great things we are doing in Africa, he suggested to come and join me here so that we can make a good camp and then we move forward together. And
That's
next, the lady standing is Princess Miaka. She is also married to a Zulu member from the Zulu royal family as well. So she's our project deputy treasurer, and she's a teacher by profession.
Oh, we have something in common. Um,
Very much.
it's a great honor to be here with you all today, and I think we should start by paying homage and to the late King Goodwill. And I'd like to tell you that you have my heartfelt condolences on that loss. Can you tell me what the implications are for the Zulu people moving forward?
As at now, let me say we are on a standstill as we are facing a lot of chaos, especially after the death of His Majesty the King. We are facing a lot of challenges here in South Africa because according to the information which we were provided in the beginning, as you know, no one was allowed at first to enter the chamber of the king where he was getting his treatment from the hospital. So only one person was allowed, and that is the Prime Minister himself, who is Prince Buthelezi, who is the traditional Prime Minister for Zulu. So he was the only person who had access to give information to the outsiders. So this took almost 1.5 months where the king was still in the hospital being treated for long healing of diabetes. So not only that, due to overstaying in the hospital, the king also contracted this deadly disease, which is COVID-19, which was the most major case which led the king to pass on. So as it now, there are so many chaos which is happening in Zulu Kingdom, whereby even the successor is not yet pronounced because of some other errors which is happening. So in the meantime, the queen, the first queen of His Majesty, is the one who is the acting leader for the Zulu Kingdom until due time comes. So this is the situation as it now.
Okay. Well, I will keep in touch with you for further updates, and I hope it is my sincere hope that the chaos wanes and that stability is found.
Exactly. No, that will be very great. And I'll keep on giving you the update each time you are free to communicate with us here.
Yes, great. And so, in the meantime, it is my understanding that you have a strong mission for peace and interfaith harmony. Can you tell me about your work in this area, Your Highness?
Okay. Yeah. So to start with, because I think if you know my background, I'm someone who was brought up in Denmark. I never grew up so much in South Africa, but I spent most of the years in Copenhagen, Denmark. So I started my missionary work, so to say, probably in 2017 here in Africa after my graduation from school. I'm a medical doctor by profession.
Wow,
So yes, so concerning the work, first I started with the United House of Monarchs, seeing what we are facing, especially let me talk of my own country, South Africa, whereby traditional leaders are not highly respected, especially by the government. So there is that discrimination whereby only few royalties here in South Africa are highly recommended or highly considered by the government itself. So for that reason, I came up with an initiative, or let's say an organization which can accommodate all traditional leaders in South Africa, like to be a voice in the parliament, because some of them, they are voiceless. The government can't even hear out from them. So I, being what it takes, being knowing what is in there, I came up with meeting up with all the majesties, queens, chiefs, princes, princesses, all of them across the country, so that at least we can form one union, one group, so that when we speak, at least everyone will be able to hear. And this we went also to the late king, His Majesty Goodwill Zwelithini Khabe-Puzulu, for his support, and as well as to the Prime Minister of our traditional leader. So on that one, I started up an organization which was called United House of Monarchs. So this is an organization which tackled on all traditional leaders, beginning from the king, queens, up to the village heads. At least everyone should have a say, because you know our leaders, especially traditionally, they are the ones who are looking after the communities. It's not everything which the government can reach out, especially to the communities. So for that reason, I suggested to come up with this idea in support of him as my business associate, while he was still in India. So we made such collaboration to start this movement. So as it now, because of the corruption which was happening even in the same organization, as I told you, I was not very much in the country, but I had some representatives like coordinators in every country, like Zimbabwe, where I'm also the Royal Ambassador for the Matebele Kingdom of Zimbabwe. I'm sure very soon I will introduce them to you as well, because I'm their ambassador and I'm the one in charge of all of them.
Well, this solidarity and this one voice will certainly help to solidify the importance, and it won't be a bunch of scattered voices, but you'll all be together, and that way you'll have more influence.
Exactly, this is my aim. So as United House of Monarchs, we did a lot of work. We tried to reach out to the poor of the poorest. We try to reach out to the community so that at least we can bring development. So we started up this foundation with the other brother who just left, because he's also our security chief officer. So he's busy monitoring everything outside concerning our safety. As you know, here we are in dangerous times. So definitely may has to make sure that security is well observed. So we started up this group with him because he's based in South Africa, and by then I was still in Denmark. So I had to meet up with my friend to say, my brother, let's do something to change the world, to change economy, to change our communities, not only in South Africa, but also in India, as well as in other countries. So that's how we came up with this United House of Monarchs, of which some government officials were part of it. And you know something, if it's coming big, definitely the government will be eyeing on it. So it became like a threat as well to the government, because we were moving rapidly, we were developing ourselves rapidly, because we have reached almost 7 African countries, and our offices are even running like in Zimbabwe, in Lusaka, Zambia, in Namibia, Mozambique, and other countries. So this is a very big organization, but due to corruption which started coming in, the president of the same organization was a political leader as well. So that brought a lot of negativity somehow, because some traditional leaders, they don't want to do things with politics, to do with politics. We as traditional leaders, we must always refrain from politics. We must always remain neutral to accommodate everyone. So our president became a leader for a certain political party, which was a negative part. So on that one, a lot of traditional leaders complained to say, no, we are not going to allow such kind of things, because some of the funds, the little funds we received from the organization, was now being spent on personal politics, which was unacceptable according to our constitution. So a lot of people, they said, no, my prince, you are the one who started this, and you being the young in the group, we want you to lead as the president of this organization, because I was the deputy president. So on that one, we had to change the name from United House of Monarchs to African Monarch Coalition.
Yeah.
and we are being in support with your people there in USA and some other delegation from USA. So this is where we are in partnership with USA as well as India and other African countries as well.
Your Highness, there are so many questions that I could ask moving from this statement. But you know, one of the things that to me seems very important is that there is this political office with whom you have to work somehow. And
Exactly.
in some diplomatic fashion without um, being overrun by it and without necessarily getting tied into it. But can you tell me a little bit about how do you do that? In a practical sense, it sounds very challenging.
Yeah, otherwise, as you know, being a prince is something which is not easy, so to say. But the little I gathered myself from my royalty fees, because normally I used to receive some royalty funds, even to the government, being a prince. So through the lot, which are through the mean funds which I was gathering, I suggested to say, no, I can't just sit down and see a lot of people going astray, a lot of people failing even to put something on the table because of their nature, because of because of being neglected. So that one was very much a painful thing to me. And myself, on that, I can't speak much because knowing how life is. Remember, we were sometime back around 90s, we experienced like something like apartheid in the country in South Africa when we were trying to get the freedom from the British rule. So on that one, I am one person who went into exile. So I was one time in exile for a couple for 3-4 years, just in exile. It was even difficult for me to return back home because by then I had no one to support me. Only people from those countries could able to support me. So I experienced everything what it takes to be in such a status. So for that one, it has always been my passion to move forward, to uplift especially the communities, not only the communities, but also the societies, the people, orphans, and all those people at large. So as at now, I'm also running an orphanage in India, whereby one of our colleagues from him, it is also running, it's called the Sheila Foundation, which is ongoing in India, at least to uplift the people. And I'm also running another foundation in Zambia. It is called Sacred Heart Royal Foundation. So this is a foundation whereby we are trying to uplift children from the streets, bringing them together, those who have got less education, at least the little we can find, we put them in education, and then we support them like maybe books, uniforms, and that is the major challenge which we are facing both locally and even internationally, because these organizations are now in 3 countries, which is India, Zambia, as well as here in South Africa. So the same lady you have seen, she's our teacher. She's a teacher who is handling everything here in South Africa. And we are in the process of at least to find a good place, a good location where we can accommodate at least about 500 children. But you know, finances and this deadly thing is a big challenge we are facing.
When I hear the background on this, what comes to my mind is a phrase from the Bhagavad Gita that
Yeah.
if you experience some form of misery,
Mm-hmm.
find someone else who has experienced more misery and help them heal. And as a commentary, the amount of resilience that you're displaying and the amount of um, support that you are giving to the, well, at least 3 countries is really phenomenal. And
Yeah.
I meet a lot of people, especially today, who feel very sad and stressed about COVID. But those people who have done the best are the ones who have chosen simply to lead in this time, to put their heads down and find, okay, here's a challenge. I'm going to try to solve that. And here's another one. I'm going to try to solve this one. And so I applaud your amazing activities in this light.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate even for putting me live on the screen. It's my royal pleasure because I know the world will be watching us at large, and I know that a lot will be in contact with us, even to support us in whatever we are doing. This is my appeal even to the public, governments, or any other institution that can come on board even to partner with us. It will be my royal honor and appreciation.
Yes, I want to say also regarding governments, the idea that everybody would collaborate together is really elemental. I know that like even in the US, we're far from that. Nobody's
Yeah.
collaborating. But so one of my core philosophies is co-rising. The idea that if one country succeeds and 10 fail, that we all and
Definitely.
we all have
Exactly.
to rise together. And getting rid of corruption is also elemental. And it's really wonderful to see others fighting to rid the world of corruption. That is wonderful.
Exactly. This is good news. This is great. If one country is down, definitely even the other should be down. So in order to balance up, we need all to uplift each other. We need to support each other. If I hear my friend is starving, no bread at home, I have to support the little I have. One day it will be my turn. I will not have that. That friend definitely will come to my rescue. So this is about living.
I am a part of several organizations that are focused on moving society away from simply economy to influence for impact. And so the idea, what is your impact? And from that derive an economy. And I'm very hopeful that with efforts like yours, we can switch entire societies from just money, where's the money, to really caring for entire communities.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that that was just a commentary, but I also think that there's a larger conversation in corruption. One of my concerns, and I'm writing an article about this around the world, is kleptocracies. And these are governments that just steal all the money from
Yes.
people. And I think that your aunt plays a large role in resolving that. And the idea of educating the youth of, or the children of monarchs with ethics, like clearly the ethics that you have been given, is really vital to ending kleptocracies, if I can say that word. Do you have an opinion on this? Yeah.
Yeah, on that one, yeah, you are exactly just to comment on that one. This is one thing which is hindering, especially in terms of progressing. You find that whenever you try to make a move, and because the government has seen potential in that, they want to come in so that it is an idea for the government to run it. So I have been experiencing such kind of things. I don't know how I'm going to tackle on it. This is the major problem.
And I think of the concepts of nonviolent communication and conflict resolution. You can't run away from that. And being super aggressive, that's not going to help either. So diplomatic solutions that meet everybody's needs are very important. Yeah, there's no question in there, but I can certainly see and I'm glad to know that you're an MD, which means that you clearly have the mental capacity to come to these arduous, tenable diplomatic solutions to our future.
Thank you so much for that, my dear. Thank you so much. Because if I can just sit down, then who will be the voice for the voiceless? If I am not able to voice on behalf of the people, on behalf of the communities, on behalf of my own people, then who will drive that? Who will lead them like that? So it has always been my passion to say, if I was once a refugee, I was once in such a state, I don't want my neighbor, I don't want my son, my friend, or anyone to pass through what I went through. And the only way I can do that is to promote some awareness on that one, to promote something which will be able to lead us to perfection. But if I'm just seated like other ones, because we are many princes here in South Africa and so forth, but some of them, they are afraid of even the government itself to say, if I can say this to the government, tomorrow they will do this to me. But it means you are killing others. So us as traditional leaders, we should not have that sense of even afraid of anything, because we are the voice to the voiceless. And for that reason, I am going to make sure that I do not go behind, or I do not lead people astray. It is my royal privilege always to move forward with those people who can't survive, those people who cannot make it. So this is why I'm not only working like in South Africa, I'm having a lot of collaboration internationally who are also in support of whatever I'm doing, because if always they are hearing it from me, others will say, no, he's just a dreamer, or you want to succeed, or you want to do this. So this is why I'm always bringing all the people from outside the country, so that together we can form one group, together we can say something which will be tangible to the whole world, something which will shake the world, because one hand cannot manage to lift everything. But if we have two hands or more than that, at least we can hold on one thing and make it like that. So that is my goal and that is my mission.
Well, you're on the right channel today, Your Highness. This channel promotes indigenous cultures around the world. And when I think of the corrupt governments, I am reminded yet again of all of the knowledges and intelligence that are housed in each indigenous language and culture. And all of these knowledges are very important for restoration of the earth, for preservation of the earth, and for the continuation of society.
That is great. That is great. You are very right.
So I thank you for being here today, Your Highness, with your wonderful entourage. And I think that we have made a platform so that the world can know of all of the good that you are out there doing. The idea of love, peace, and interfaith harmony was never more important than today.
It is my royal honor as well. It is my royal honor, especially to be on this platform. I know this is a platform which is changing many lives from nothing to something. So it is my royal honor on behalf of my colleague as well, and on behalf of my sister there. Thank you so much for standing up for us, and thank you so much for definitely giving us this opportunity. I'm truly humbled. I'm on my feet as a royal prince before you.
I too am humbled, and I look forward to the next time you come back.
It will be my pleasure as well. Looking forward to talk to you sometime again. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.
This is Dr. Jessica Ash, and we have been talking with Prince Nitikozo Mofokeng Zulu and his entourage about all of the goodwill work he is doing around the world. Thanks for joining.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. Bye.